All right, I want to talk to you about course selection options for next year. First of all, requirements that you need to graduate are biology, chemistry, and physics. So basically, it means you're done. So now what are you supposed to do? Well, there's a bunch of options. The first possibility is taking no science. In the option of taking no science, this can free up your schedule if you're looking for other classes to double up in, or say you want to take AP Comp Sci. This can make a lot of sense depending on what you're looking at. Now, for many of you, I would anticipate that you want to take 4 years of science in the upper school at least. So if you're looking to take more science, I would encourage you to look at not only the full credits, but also the half credit science classes we have. Half credits are usually in addition to rather than instead of, meaning you would take a full credit science class and a half credit. Or it could be something, now this could be something that if you're, say, doubling up in math, but you still want to have at least some science and you take a half credit science class, that might make a lot of sense too. They only meet 3 times a cycle, they don't have a midterm, and they don't have a final. And those half credit classes are organic chemistry and engineering and design lab. I'm not going to read all of the prereqs to you, which you can see on the screen, but I will say organic chemistry is an awesome step up if you are interested in anything in the medical professions, nursing, or research, or any physical sciences as well. Organic chemistry can definitely be like a weeding class and is very different from the introductory chem that you've already taken. So a background in organic chemistry would be a huge leg up. Engineering and design lab is an awesome look into engineering principles, design principles. This would be something if you're maybe interested in architecture or building, construction, any of those types of fields as well. This gives you this idea of building and adapting and coming back and prototyping and making changes and all of those types of things, which are part of our engineering ideas sets. And there's a lot of actual building. I've heard from other students throughout the years that it's a fun class. It's a great, not a heavy homework load, and is not necessarily like a high pressure, not a lot of tests and quizzes or anything like that, but a great choice as well. Another option would be topics in human bio. Now, all of you meet the prerequisites for it. And for those of you who will be seniors, this is a place where you have the option to write a thesis for your Global Scholars designation. And why would you do that in topics in human bio? That might be something that you're interested in, say, looking at a global health issue. I know the New York Times recently had an article about how despite all of the advances in HIV medication, how we are failing children in Africa who live with HIV. So maybe looking into those types of ideas, or another particular area like using vaccinations or something like that in distributing them throughout the developing world. Still another topic would be AP Biology, and the rest of these are basically in alphabetical order. AP Biology requires that you have taken biology and chemistry, and I will say that this is a microbiology class, which means it's definitely, there's a lot of chemistry involved. There's a lot of looking at things from that chemical basis and kind of building up from there. It does require a significant, it's a pretty ambitious, shall we say, curriculum. There's a lot of material in there, and you will be responsible for doing readings on your own and things like that, which makes complete and perfect total sense. So that's something to think about. I do want to explain here when it says you need to meet 3 of the following 5 criteria. Um, you need a B plus or better in the last 3 semesters of science. That literally means one semester B plus, 2 semesters B plus, 3 semesters of B plus means you've met 3 of the criteria. It's also 600 plus in PSAT math and verbal. Those are also the same requirements for AP Environmental Science. Now, AP Environmental Science is the only AP that does not have an X period, is in addition to their 5 periods plus a lab. AP Environmental is an awesome class in terms of one of the big things that I think it has a huge advantage of is that it is so interdisciplinary. It looks at social impacts. It looks at the environmental impacts from a chemical point of view, biologic point of view. It's also going to be looking at, energy and construction and physics, and engineering, and you also are going to be talking about economics. You're going to be talking about all sorts of things and what makes sense in terms of cost benefit and potentially unintended consequences and all of those types of things. So awesome class in that way as well. Still even more options include AP Chem, gotta say I'm a big fan of the AP Chem. It also meets 5 times per rotation with lab and X. This one you must have taken honors chemistry, and the PSAT quantitative would also be known as PSAT math, needing a 600 plus. AP Chem is a intense course, but there's a lot of really cool, exciting things in there. And as a student, I took 2 years of chemistry, but they didn't offer AP Chem, and I wish they would have. I honestly would say that was that second year of chemistry in high school for me was one that I just really enjoyed. I got to get into much more detail on the whys and the hows of things. So if you want to get into more of the understanding and application of that rather than just memorize all of the different symbols and that sort of thing, this is a class that can be an awesome advantage for you. Great for anyone who is looking into medical fields, nursing, all of that. Introductory Chem is a definite weeder class, meaning it's a class that you need to do well in, and so a solid background can be a huge advantage. And I saved the best option, or at least the last option, as AP Physics C Mechanics. This is a full credit, full year course. This does have a co-requisite. That means you have to be currently taking AP level calculus, or that you've completed an AP level calculus course. And the reason for that is we start day 1 using calculus. It is something that we're going to be, while it is a physics class, not a calculus class, we need to use calculus to our advantage. So that's going to be something where we're going to be putting a lot of things together. One thing that you will see with AP Physics that makes a difference is that while at the midterm time we were talking about how all the things relate to each other and they intermix, the AP Physics is going to really, really, really take each and every topic and mesh them together and really put them together to make the questions, and that every single AP problem you're going to see, AP level problem you're going to see, is going to involve 2, 3, 4 different topics, ideas, applications of these things, and they're going to be novel, meaning things you haven't seen before. So this is definitely one for people who enjoy the problem solving, the digging in and trying things out, and oh, that didn't work, let me try in a different direction, which it can be, in my opinion, a lot of fun. So it's a course that helps you to, to flex your resilience muscle and to really, really, really encourage you to think rather than memorize. Now, what if your eligibility works out that you don't like your options? That's easy. Petition. And I say, think about what you want the possibility of taking, and then make sure you fill out the petition accordingly. Petitions do not lock you into saying, I'm definitely signing up for this class, but it opens doors and gives you all of the possibilities. You can then make decisions based on, ooh, I can look at all the things or something like that rather than just, oh, I'm only in these types of little boxes here. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask.